Hey everybody, it's Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be the start of my me album for 2024. Remember, I did a whole big series in the fall about making your own me album. This year I decided in between the Project Life weekly videos, I would also share how I'm putting together a me album using a variety of different kits and products. Most of the time, Ali Edwards. So this is part 1 for January. I thought I would do a big long video, but I decided to just put January into 2 parts. But let me know if you have a preference, if you don't mind a super long video, or if you prefer, 2 parts. So for this opening page, I am using the start kit, and I wanted to document what I'm starting and what I am stopping for 2024. I also took some selfies of myself. I'm sure there was a purpose because this selfie was taken on the front porch with my fancy hair. So obviously I had a reason why I was dressed up, but I can't quite remember. But either way, I love the photo, and I die cut a bunch of the flowers in the kit. Because the physical flowers are really thick felt flowers, and while I don't mind using those, I prefer to use the die cut flowers so it's not terribly thick. I also used 2 chipboards, one that says "So Love Beginnings" and then another one that is the flower. Well, actually what I did is, you can see here, I took chipboard backing and I backed my digital die cuts on the chipboard piece. So now it has that extra dimension, and it's kind of a faux, well, not kind of, it is a fake chipboard. And look, it looks the same. I love it. It's not a trick that I do that often, but I should do it more often. Usually I reach for foam adhesive, but using this type of chipboard worked really nice. And then of course I have all of those different die cut flowers, and whatever I don't use will get sorted into my different acrylic drawers. I'm going to make one really big cluster down in the bottom left of my photo with the "So Love Beginnings," some yellow flowers and blue flowers. And I also have a word strip sticker sheet that I'm going to grab to use as well. I figured that I could balance out all of the black from the 2024 card because I am wearing a black sweater, and I figured it balances out. And I think I mentioned this before. I really wish Ali Edwards would put out some basic embellishments in like a variety of colors. So like a sheet of red hearts, a sheet of pink hearts, and black. You know what I mean? It would be nice if there was that possibility with Ali Edwards products. But you know what I could do? I could make it digitally. I think I could. And then I could just back it with my own chipboard or something. Now that has me thinking that maybe I could work something out for myself. For the word phrase stickers, I chose Journey, and this is just one chapter. For starting this, I wrote out that I prefer to start the year slow and kind of ease my way into the year, especially with December being such a overstimulation type of month. It's nice to just be cozy and just think about how I want to approach the year. I also said that I want to be mindful of my time, and I really wanted to tackle the great homework project with all my kids' homework papers, but spoiler alert, I did not get to that project in 2024. 2025, maybe. I still have papers that I need to file and sort from when my son was in kindergarten. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. For stopping this, I just put that I want to find more ways to rest, even though it's a busy season of life. I also would like to work on my confidence and just know that I'm much more capable than I give myself credit for, and to just try to be more kind to myself. So that is this project, and I love it for opening up my 2024 album. And I'm sure I will do something similar for this year when I start working on this year's album. But like I mentioned in several behind the scenes videos, I really don't want to start too many projects this year. I would rather just work on what I already have. So that's why I'm doing 2024. So there you go. Beautiful opening page to kind of set my intentions for the year. Now, this is a project that kind of got out of hand. I really wanted to document my husband and I at the zoo with this selfie. And the reason is because we always take it in the same spot. I don't know how I remember that we always take it in this spot, but we do. So I went to my closet where my archives, I guess you could say, of real photos, digital photos, printed photos are, and I found one from 2012. And I wanted to do some sort of then and now because that's another thing I really love to scrapbook. And while the 2012 photo is pretty close up, I decided to go ahead and use it and figure out a way to do a flip up. And I really love how, I found this photo and I did the flip up, but I got a little carried away with my embellishments and it was different than I expected. And so you will see as I put this together how it just turned out a little more different than I expected. And I may have mentioned this in like what I'm working on in January, because I did finish up this project last month. But I got the flip up using a 4x6 journaling card from the Wander collection. I really love that collection, and I'm also just trying to use up journaling cards. And I really loved the pattern in the background. It matched well with kind of a zoo outdoor theme. So I made the flip up and then the photo underneath, and I just trimmed off some of the X-Acto knife, or trimmed off the extra piece with the X-Acto knife, and now it fits perfectly. I have a few embellishments that I have picked out that are greens and blues, but then I go into my circle drawer and I find the craft circles that I cut from packaging, and I was like, well, I want to use those. Those would be really fun to use. And it's so big, and I feel like it may or may not have dragged my page down a little bit. So I tried my best to balance it. And at the end of this, video, after I'm done filming, I turn off the camera and I do decide to add a circle up at the top just to balance it out a little bit more. And that way there is another phrase there that has the craft on it. But for now, you will see that I will put beautiful moments, and I just have to trim it so it's a little bit neater as far as, the circle shape. So I add one to the inside that says "So Love Today," and I will use that inside piece to do some journaling. I also want to add a little bit of stamping in brown, which will complement well with the craft words and also help your eye travel around the page. So I'm really doing a vertical design, cluster of a trail. That's the word I was looking for. Allie Edwards calls it a trail. So it's a trail vertically down the page. And I'm using a circle with some words on it that says "Never Stop Exploring." So I'll stamp that in several different places, including the inside where the journaling is going to be. That way there is some consistency there as well. And I stamped a little sentiment that says "Beautiful Memory." And I also stamped a little story, and I thought I might use that as kind of a title piece, but I'm actually going to switch it up in a little bit. Using my scratch piece of paper to make sure I don't stamp where I don't want to, but I really do need to clean my desk. My desk is so messy. It's the white IKEA table, and it would be so quick and easy to just wipe it down, but I always forget. I mean, if I have time in my space, I'd much rather be creating than cleaning up messes. I know I'm not the only one on that either. Okay, so I stamped a little story and I have it down in the bottom corner of our photo, but then I look in my bin that I have for different title pieces and I find some black fabric pieces. And so I decided to use one of those, and it says "The good old days are now," and it's a quote. So I use that on the bottom of the journaling card, and I love that because it's just a really bold black piece that I can use from my stash, and it fits perfectly. And then I found one that says "Stories from the Past," and I'm going to put that on the inside where my journaling is going to be. So it worked out fantastic. plastic. And I think I had those pieces because I contributed to one of Ali Edwards' classes where you took a variety of pieces from different collections and brought them together. So glad I could find a home for a few of those. Definitely drawing and journaling lines because I will never ever write straight, but and I like how it looks with the lines. I know some people can probably draw without the lines, but that is not me. So I just talked about how our first time at the zoo together was on a date for our 3 months together. And now here we are 20 years later, still going to the zoo, taking our kids. I don't know how much longer we'll take our kids, probably a while because we all love going to zoos. But I love getting a photo of the both of us in front of the bamboo wall. And it's so nice to be able to see the different photos over the years. So that is the little journaling, and I think I added a few puffy stickers from the Explore kit, and then I can just put it into my me album. I think I did forget the date. I was trying to be better about adding in the date, but I believe I forgot it. So it is in my album. I am going to get an Avery Black 2-inch album, but for now I have this Target binder that's super old. Okay, last page for part 1, January, of my me album is a making grid page. I took all the photos that I liked about, my creative stuff in the month of January, and I brought it together to make this page. I used a 4x6 photo on the right-hand side in my space, and then some 2x2 or a little bit smaller 2x2 photos on the left-hand side, and used the Make Story Kit. And I loved this, I think it's 4x8 sized paper, and I'm going to use that as a striped patterned paper almost, so that way it connects both of the pages and gives, continuity between both of the pages. I also really want to use a ton of the chipboard and the vellum hearts because I don't feel like there needs to be a lot of journaling on this page. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory with just a little bit of journaling that I will do on the right-hand side. I also am going to use a journaling card as my title piece, which I really love. It's not often that I think of that, to use journaling cards as something other than journaling cards. At least I feel like that's something that I don't first think of. But I'm really happy that I did with this one, and I'm thrilled with how this page turned out. It's like if I could repeat this for every single month, I might just do that. But I pull out 3 of the chipboard pieces, and I'm going to finagle and figure out where I want each of them to go. So I picked out a variety of photos from what I had of different making and different projects throughout the month of January. I picked, me holding up my reading journal. I think I was sharing a walkthrough of 2023, which is just bananas. I don't know how I did that, but I finished in January of 2024 for that reading journal. Wow. Good job, me. I also have an order of washi tape and then a project on my desk along with the audiobook that I was listening to and some Happy Mail stamps from Carrie Bradford. And I'm just, like I said, figuring out the different clusters and different directions that I want to face the hearts, because I feel like on the left-hand side, if I put one vellum heart to the left and one to the right, it adds to the movement and it doesn't look like they're both, I don't know, it just would work better visually if I have them facing different directions. And over on the right-hand side, I can use the negative space up at the top to put the currently making from the journaling card. And then a little bit below that, I can add another chipboard and another heart. I get my tiny ruler to make sure the bottom row is lined up as best as I can. And then I add down the photo in the middle section, and the chipboard says just love making things like this, and up at the top is one that says yes, 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 which that one I loved because it included all the colors that were down in the striped paper. And after that, I'm going to put the orange chipboard with another quote that says, making my way in the world, crafting my story one day at a time, which I'm obsessed with that chipboard because it just about sums up everything. And I I love it. So I'm almost done putting this together. Again, very simple and easy layout, but I feel like sometimes, or maybe a lot of the times, we should just make things a little bit simpler so that way we can get the stories documented and, you know, keep going with more stories if we can make things less complicated. So I've got all my different little cluster spots. And again, you can see I've been doing it throughout this entire project, like little fussing with the vellum and little fussing with the chipboard, but I've got it, and I can add a few journaling lines down to the bottom. And I'll just say a peek into some of my January projects, always making, choosing joy, and playing. And over on the left-hand side, I'm going to just do 2 tiny lines so that way I can write in January 2024 making. And that will wrap up this page, and I love it. It's awesome. So here is the start of my me album with a cute little January page with my winter birds. I did that one on a reel for Instagram, and here is the other pages you guys saw come together. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing all of these pages come together. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. All right, have a great day. Bye.